Hello, and welcome to our broadcast. Go from MSP to MSSP in 1, 2, 3 with Kaspersky. Brought to you by Kaspersky. I'm your host, Katie Bavoso from the Channel Company. The fallout of the global pandemic changed the way businesses approach cybersecurity. Gone are the days when only massive enterprises risk being targeted by bad actors. Now, no business is safe. But small to mid-sized businesses still lack the internal resources to combat cyber threats on their own. This is driving the managed security services market to grow at a compound annual growth rate of more than 15% to reach a forecasted value of $64.73 billion by 2026. That's more than twice its value was in 2020. Today, we'll discuss the business opportunities this demand presents managed services providers looking to transition to managed security services providers and how Kaspersky can help with a customized approach. I'm joined now by Kaspersky's Trevor Sarabro, MSP and Distribution Territory Channel Manager for North America. Welcome, Trevor.
Thanks, Katie, and thank you for this opportunity to share my thoughts on the MSP and MSSP business and talk about how Kaspersky can help managed service providers grow.
Absolutely, a very important subject, especially with the demand I was just talking about. So let's set the stage with our first segment, new business opportunities in managed security services. So Trevor, what are customers looking for right now when it comes to cybersecurity solutions and services? And what new business opportunity does this present MSPs and MSSPs?
At a high level, obviously, customers are looking for expanded cybersecurity solutions. With the acceleration of cyber attacks over the past couple of years, customers need specialists, which provides opportunity for MSPs and MSSPs to provide those services. Since Kaspersky's inception, we've seen over 1 billion different types of malware, and currently the clip rate is about 420,000 a day, which leads us to believe we'll probably see 150 million this year. And customers just don't have the expertise. The next thing up is efficacy. How effective are the products? With 25 years of fighting cybercrime, we've consistently shown that we're the #1 in this space in endpoint security. We've been doing independent tests and reviews and collecting the data for the last 8 or 9 years. And we're measuring 3 different metrics of, that these independent tests and reviews are compiled of. Number 1 is the number of tests and reviews over a year. Number 2 is the top 3 places. And number 3 is the number of first places. And we've been consistent over the years of finding ourselves in the top place. Something else we did late last year is we released a ransomware report. And what we did is we took over 100 different types of ransomware and pushed it onto PCs with 10 of our top competitors. And once again, we bubbled up to the top. And this is available online to review our results as well as our competitor results. The next thing I'd say, which is very important, is competitive pricing. High margins are very much top of mind for MSPs and MSSPs. And one of the things that they want to be able to do is layer services onto product or even augment their services with our services. And with Kaspersky, we can do this. The next thing I'd say, which is very important, is the broad product capabilities. MSPs need to add those services, and the broader a product is, the more services they can layer on top. And the MSP is all about taking a base price or a base cost and then layering on services and building them their monthly recurring revenue based on those services.
So Trevor, we just talked about the sheer volume of malware and attacks and threats that we're expecting this year. So I assume that's a huge challenge to growing businesses for MSPs. But what challenges do MSPs often face when trying to grow their businesses into managed security service providers?
That's a great question, Katie. I think the first thing is staffing. It's probably the most challenging part of building a business, is finding the right kind of staff, finding the expertise needed to to go out and present services to customers, cybersecurity expertise is very difficult to find. In the US alone, I was reading a report recently, this year, we're going to find a shortfall of over 460,000 experts, which means that, if you can't find those experts, we've got to look outside an organization. And that's where Kaspersky comes in, and that's where the MSSP can provide those services. So they could be a conduit for Kaspersky because we provide a variety of different services. And then as time goes on and they gain expertise, they can obviously take back some of those services and provide them to the customers. So the last thing is obviously reliable products and solutions. And with Kaspersky's pedigree and the number of years we've been in the industry, we can obviously give MSPs and MSSPs confidence when they go out and meet with their customers to deliver services.
Trevor, based on everything you just told me, how does Kaspersky offer a customized approach to help partners grow their businesses into cybersecurity practices? And how are you different from competitors?
Well, firstly, and I mentioned it earlier, is products. We support SMBs, mid-market customers, enterprises. We have availability to market to the industrial cybersecurity market. We can provide security awareness training, both at the engineering level as well as the employee level. We provide some of the best threat intelligence services available today. We can do pen testing and other services to augment what your security team is offering. So the next thing up is scalability. Having the ability to deploy small environments like 20 or 50 nodes, or scaling it up to 1,000 or 5,000 nodes, even up to 100,000 nodes per instant. Kaspersky can meet those requirements. We also have a blend. Some customers want a cloud console. Some customers want a blend of on-premise and cloud, and some customers would like to just have an on-premise solution. Kaspersky can provide all of those. And then again, we have a rich portfolio of cybersecurity services that we can help MSPs or MSSPs grow using those services till they have the expertise to perform those tasks on their own.
Trevor, that brings us into segment 2, the Kaspersky Managed Service Provider Program. What's new about the Kaspersky Managed Service Provider Program, and how can it help partners take their business to that next level?
Traditionally, our partner program has really been focused in the VAR market segment. But recently, as of the beginning of this year, we're starting to focus more on MSPs, and we're recognizing their revenue in a different way to the VAR program. So for instance, VARs are typically closing 1, 2, 3-year deals, and those are upfront revenue generating activities, where our VARs are monthly. So what we're doing is we're adding a multiplier factor to their revenue, which will help them align themselves with VARs. And recently we've increased our number of silver MSPs, gold MSPs, even platinum MSPs, based on this new calculation that we're using. It also helps MSPs generate more margin for themselves. Because they're now in the silver, gold, and platinum levels, they'll have the ability to participate in our rebate program. So once again, being able to increase their revenues. Last thing I'd like to talk about is our license management portal. Our license management portal makes it extremely easy for MSPs to manage their licensing. It's a cloud-based portal where they can increase licensing with a few clicks, and they can increase their number of nodes by as little as 1 at a time, or up to 5,000, 10,000 at a time, whatever their requirements are. And this is, one of the key factors in, taking their businesses to the next level.
So Trevor, when a partner wants to take their business to that next level, I can imagine that it could be scary and confusing. They don't know how to plot that course. So how do you use Kaspersky solutions to create a path for partners to build their managed security services practice over time, even if they're just starting out on their MSSP journey?
So Kaspersky has developed a framework to identify which solutions are needed based on a managed service provider's requirements. Security Foundations is the first level, and this focuses on mitigation of commodity threats. And this would be a standard for any endpoint deployment out there. Then the second stage that we've added to the framework is Optimum Security. And this provides 24/7 monitoring. It gives the MSP access to cybersecurity specialists at a very deep level. And they're watching the network to make sure that there's no anomalies. So this is early detection and response, and gives them insights into evasive threats. The last one that we have, the last level, is Expert Security. And this protects an organization against targeted attacks and provides access to our senior cybersecurity analysts. For instance, if the MSSP has a question, they can simply email one of our cybersecurity specialists, and they'll be chatting with a person that might have 10 or 15 years worth of experience to help guide them through any challenges that they see. Next, I'd like to talk about our KES Cloud product as an example. There are 3 flavors of this product: KES Cloud Plus, and KES Cloud Pro. And the main interest for an MSP in these products is that they can layer their services accordingly. So they might build a good, better, best package. They might even create bespoke packages depending on their customer requirements. But these products will allow them to do that. This suite of products allows them to, grow out those services and increase their monthly recurring revenue. For instance, KES Cloud is, all about anti-ransomware, anti-malware, protecting the endpoint, dealing with the shadow IT issue that's out there by providing shadow IT audits. And then KES Cloud Plus adds, more manageability features, such as root cause analysis, cloud blocking, security for Office 365. And we're not only talking about mailboxes, we're also talking about OneDrive, SharePoint sites, as well as Teams meetings, making sure that, any malicious files are blocked. The last tier we have is our KES Cloud Pro, which is being launched this month. And that provides endpoint detection and response. It also adds application control, adaptive anomaly control, and also online training. So an MSP, if they're unsure about what the next steps are, they can simply click in the console, click on the training packages, and they'll be able to get the training free of charge. So as I mentioned before, it's all about building those layers and moving from a traditional endpoint protection service to a managed detection and response service. And that's where the MSP and the MSSP can start showing their value. They can also add threat intelligence. And as I mentioned earlier, we have one of the best threat intelligence services available today. And I'm not just saying that because several of the Fortune 20 companies in the US are using our threat intelligence services. In fact, I can mention one because we have a case study with them, and that is Google. We also can add services, and I've mentioned it before, we can add incident response, pen testing, assessments, implementations. So all these features, the features of the product, the features of our services can help the MSSP grow and could help them generate more monthly recurring revenue.
So you just mentioned the golden word, Trevor, revenue. How does Kaspersky help partners become more profitable than they might be if they partnered with another cybersecurity vendor?
So one of the things I always talk about, because I've been at Kaspersky for almost 4 years now, and I've heard partners talk about it over and over again, and that is our healthy margins. We're known for those margins. We're known for those discounts that we can provide to our partners. It's highly competitive, the market out there, but we're providing, 30 to 40% discounts. We have displacement programs for partners that are using a solution. It's not meeting their needs. They come to us, they start talking about what they'd like to see in products. And for those kinds of partners, we have programs available to give them very competitive pricing. We also provide pricing relief for bans. So a partner might start with 150 nodes at this time, and the 5 or 6 month view might be 500 nodes or 1,000 nodes. We can get them into those bands sooner rather than later so that they can achieve those deeper discounts right off the bat. Essentially, we work with partners to ensure competitive pricing, because not all business is good business. High margin business is always better business, and we want our partners to be healthy. I know it's a cliche. If our partners are successful, we're successful. And the reason I say that is that we're a 100% channel-centric company, which means we don't sell through any other channels or any other routes. And so for us, if our partners are successful, it means we're growing. And that's why we want to make sure that they're profitable, they're building their businesses, and that will give us opportunity to grow with them.
So Trevor, this particular question is something that you mentioned earlier, but I think it is worth repeating. So let's say a partner wants to grow their business, but they don't have the manpower or resources to do it themselves. As we know, that can be really stressful in this day and age to find the people. How does Kaspersky work with them to bridge those gaps and meet new customer needs?
So I would say, number one is with the products we have. And one of the products that actually speaks directly to that is our managed detection and response product, where, we're monitoring the network, we're providing the alerts, and we're providing guidance if any malicious files are found. That's one way. The other thing that we have is a slew of different types of services that can help these partners while they're getting up to speed. So for instance, we could offer an incident response service where they can buy the package and keep it available for when they need it. So this would be available to them at any time when they have a problem with one of their customers, and then they can trigger it and deliver those services under their own MSSP banner. And of course, our maintenance services agreements, which provide different levels of support depending on the MSP's needs. For instance, some MSPs may need a deeper level of support depending on the SLAs they have with their customers. Some might need a lighter touch, but we have a variety of different support mechanisms.
Trevor, that brings us into segment 3, a new kind of support with Kaspersky Maintenance Services Agreement. First of all, what is the Kaspersky Maintenance Services Agreement, or MSA for short?
So with our regular partners, we have a standard support, which is called our free support. It's available during regular business hours. But then for partners that want to take that regular free support and add another element, we can add a 24/7 telephone line to that. So they have a toll-free number. For some, business hours are fine, 8 to 5, 5 days a week. For others, they might want to open tickets over the weekend, in the evenings. This extended support gives them that opportunity to do that. And then the last thing we have is an MSA for MSP package, which is really purchasing premium tickets and giving MSPs access to cases that will be worked around the clock. So if they have critical issues, they can take those tickets and use them on a case-by-case basis.
How does Kaspersky MSA scale to meet partners' varying needs?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's really dependent on the business models that these MSPs have with their customers and the SLAs they have with their customers. Free support might be adequate for many of them. However, 24/7 might be needed for some MSPs, just depending on the response requirements that their customers have signed off on. The key to our offering is being able to provide different options to meet MSP and MSSP requirements.
Trevor, what new forms of support are offered in Kaspersky MSA, and how flexible are these support options?
Well, Katie, as I mentioned, we have our free support option. We have the MSA for MSP ticket packages, which is flexible because the tickets can be purchased in bundles as small as 5 at a time. But a flexible way to use these bundles is to augment maybe the free support that you have or the 24/7 line that you have and augment it with these premium tickets. We understand that it's not a one size fits all. And so you can mix and match the different types of services to make sure that you meet your customer requirements.
So Trevor, obviously this is a new program. What led to the creation of Kaspersky MSA, and what makes it a differentiator for Kaspersky and your partners?
Well, Kaspersky acknowledges that this business is not a one-size-fits-all. All MSPs are different. Although their models look similar, they run their businesses differently. So we've developed support programs to meet these MSP requirements or MSSP requirements based on their business type and their motions. If you take this aspect of our MSP program into account, our industry leadership, our margin-rich cost structure, MSPs can generate healthy margins to build their businesses and differentiate themselves in the cybersecurity market. We're hyper-focused on making our partners successful because it makes us successful. And we can help partners go from MSP to MSSP in 1, 2, 3.
Indeed. Trevor, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your expertise today. And thank you at home for joining us. If you'd like to learn more about growing your business with Kaspersky, just visit the web address on your screen. I'm Katie Bavoso. Thanks for watching.